If you're seriously considering the Asus ROG Strix XG32WCMS, a 31.5-inch curved gaming monitor promising a blistering 280 Hz refresh rate and 1 ms response time, you might want to pause. Because here's what surprised me: despite all the jaw-dropping specs, this monitor isn't the powerhouse some gamers swear it is. In fact, there are a few hidden problems that might make you think twice before hitting buy. But hang on, this isn't just a rant. I'm going to break down exactly what's great, what's frustrating, and if this pricey $382.90 monitor really deserves a spot on your desk. So if you're a professional gamer or just someone craving that ultra-smooth, immersive gameplay, stick around. There's some unexpected stuff you need to know before you buy. Let's kick things off with the promise Asus made. A 2560x1440 resolution on a curved screen, combined with an ultra-fast 280 Hz native refresh rate, and a lightning-quick 1 ms response time. Sounds like a dream setup, right? But here's the twist. While those numbers look amazing on paper, the real-world performance tells a different story. I noticed that while the monitor does excel in speed, there are some quirks that could disrupt your gaming experience. For instance, the adaptive sync tech, known as eLMB sync, that supposedly eliminates ghosting and tearing sometimes struggles with compatibility on certain graphics cards. So if you're planning to plug this beast into any older GPU, you may end up in frustration city. Does this mean the XG32WCMS isn't worth it? Not exactly, but let's dig deeper. Who exactly is this monitor for? If you're a professional esports player or a serious enthusiast chasing every millisecond advantage, the 280 Hz refresh rate combined with Asus fast VA tech delivering a 1 ms gray-to-gray response will indeed be attractive. It promises crisp visuals with virtually no motion blur, a huge deal when split-second decisions matter. Plus, the curved 31.5-inch screen wrapped in a 95% DCI-P3 color gamut creates a beautiful, immersive gaming environment that most casual monitors can't match. However, gamers focused on color accuracy for creative work, or those who play slower-paced genres, might find the color calibration a hit or miss. Despite Asus advanced grayscale tracking tech, it's like having a race car that looks amazing but sometimes skips a gear when you least expect it. Now, for the elephant in the room, the curve. Asus's choice of a VA panel instead of an IPS means great contrast but somewhat narrower viewing angles. This isn't a glaring issue for a single user directly in front of the screen, but if you like sharing games or using the monitor for group viewing, colors might shift dramatically as you glance from the sides. Plus, the curve, while immersive, may cause reflections depending on your setup lighting. So, the elegant curved design can be a double-edged sword. But don't worry, this is just the beginning of the story. Let's talk responsiveness and input lag, areas where Asus markets this monitor as a beast. The native 280 Hz refresh rate and 1 ms GTG response promise virtually no motion blur, enabling you to track enemies or targets with pixel-perfect accuracy. The addition of eLMB sync technology means Asus has combined motion blur reduction and variable refresh rate, which should eliminate screen tearing and ghosting simultaneously. Yet in my testing, eLMB sync's usage wasn't flawless. Sometimes, when turned on, the monitor's brightness dims and colors flatten, a side effect that might kill immersion during intense firefights or explorations. More frustratingly, the feature's inconsistent behavior on different GPUs forced multiple tweaks to the settings, making it less plug-and-play than you might hope. Here's where the story gets even more interesting. Despite these hiccups, the XG32WCMS's Display Widget Center software makes on-the-fly adjustments easier than ever. Instead of fumbling through endless menus with a joystick, you can customize your monitor settings swiftly using a mouse within the software interface. That's handy, especially mid-session when you want to tweak brightness, contrast, or gaming modes without pause. But a small gripe here: the software can be sluggish at times and isn't compatible with every OS version. So, while the concept is great, the execution leaves room for improvement. Now, let's dive into the connectivity options, because this monitor comes with a modern twist: a Type-C port. In a sea of HDMI and DisplayPort-only gaming monitors, the Type-C connection adds significant convenience for users with compatible devices. It means you can connect your laptop or console with a single cable handling video, data, and power. However, although convenient, the Type-C port's bandwidth is limited compared to DisplayPort, and it doesn't always support the 280 Hz refresh rate at 1440p in all configurations, a major detail often overlooked by marketers. Therefore, if you plan to max out this monitor's capabilities, you might still want to rely on DisplayPort cables. Alright, let's hit the color and image quality front. Asus claims 95% DCI-P3 coverage coupled with advanced grayscale tracking tech to ensure smooth gradations and uniformity. This is significant for gamers who also dabble in multimedia consumption or light photo-video editing. In reality, the color reproduction is vibrant and generally accurate, especially out of the box compared to budget models. That said, the VA panel's inherent slower pixel transition can sometimes result in persistent artifacts under fast brightness changes, which might distract sensitive eyes. The HDR implementation is present but not particularly bright or impactful, more of a subtle effect rather than immersive HDR glory. So, if you're expecting cinematic-grade HDR, you might feel underwhelmed. Quick joke break: why did the gamer break up with his monitor? Because it couldn't commit to the refresh rate. Okay, enough fun, but seriously, refresh rates are everything for a gaming monitor, and this one promises to deliver it mostly. Another angle to consider is the monitor's build quality and aesthetics. Asus ROG Strix XG32WCMS looks sleek, with customizable RGB lighting and a solid stand offering height, tilt, and swivel adjustments. It's missing a bit on the ultra-premium feel compared to some higher-end Asus models like the PG32UQX, but for its price point of around $382, the design feels balanced. Not too bulky, not too flashy. Just enough to feel like a serious gaming rig without screaming, "Look at me, I'm a gamer." However, the monitor's weight and size mean it's a little cumbersome if you frequently move your setup around. Here's another punch. I tried using this monitor for a week-long streaming session and found the cooling system fairly quiet, which is great because nothing kills immersion like a fan drone louder than your game soundtrack. The subtle vents on the back keep the panel cool without overheating. Small victory, but a nice one. But let's address the elephant in the room: the price versus value equation. At $382.90, the Asus ROG Strix XG32WCMS sits in a competitive segment. You can find monitors with similar refresh rates but better color accuracy or more consistent HDR performance. The 4.4-star Amazon rating reflects a generally positive reception, but the reviews often mention issues like screen uniformity concerns, software glitches, or occasional input lag under specific setups. This monitor is not a jack-of-all-trades but a master of speed and immersive curvature. If those are your top priorities, it's worth considering. However, if you want a balanced all-rounder or perfect plug-and-play reliability, this may give you headaches. Here's a question for you. If you could only prioritize two features in a gaming monitor, what would they be? Refresh rate and response time, or color accuracy and HDR? The XG32WCMS leans firmly towards the first. If your answer is the latter, keep scrolling because this one won't fully satisfy your needs. Another joke while we're here: why do monitors hate getting old? Because they lose their refresh rate. Okay, again, I'm sorry for the corny tech humor, but it does highlight why refresh rate matters so much for gamers. Let's talk installation and daily use briefly. Setup is straightforward, and the curved design allows you to feel enveloped in games like never before. The 2560 by 1440 resolution hits a sweet spot, sharper than Full HD, but less demanding on your GPU than 4K. That means you can push for higher frames on mid-range cards without trading away visuals. However, the monitor's vaunted 280 Hz refresh rate requires serious horsepower under the hood. Otherwise, you won't fully benefit from it. If you're rocking anything below an RTX 3070 or an RX 6800, you might find your frame rates hobbled, making this curve and speed less useful. Also, Asus does include some handy features like Game Plus crosshair overlays and FPS counters, which are helpful for competitive gamers. But surprisingly, the monitor lacks built-in speakers, something to note if you were hoping to cut cable clutter. You'll need a separate audio solution. So overall, should you buy the Asus ROG Strix XG32WCMS? The honest answer is yes, but with some caveats. If you prioritize high refresh rates and a large immersive screen size, and you own a beefy gaming rig to match, it's a solid pick. The curved 31.5-inch design combined with 1 ms response time and eLMB sync technology provide an excellent competitive edge and visual experience. But if you're after flawless HDR, perfect color accuracy, effortless plug-and-play with every GPU, or budget-friendly convenience, look elsewhere. Before you decide, remember that no monitor is perfect. Each will have compromises depending on what features you emphasize. The Asus ROG Strix XG32WCMS aims to deliver speed and immersion first, and it largely succeeds, but not without minor hiccups. It's a worthy contender in its price range if you manage expectations. Final joke before I let you go: why did the monitor go to therapy? Because it couldn't handle the pressure knobs. Seriously though, this monitor handles pressure pretty well. Just be prepared to tweak settings and troubleshoot compatibility issues here and there. If you want to experience the Asus ROG Strix XG32WCMS for yourself and catch the best price on Amazon, check the link in the description below. Whether you're an aspiring pro gamer or hardcore enthusiast, this monitor could elevate your gameplay to the next level. Just be ready for a bit of setup and fine-tuning. Thanks for sticking with me through this honest review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more Real Talk reviews to help you make the smartest gaming gear choices. Happy gaming!